Right, still the 26th of the 6th, 2024. 32 now more, but 30 more. Basically, 32 more loud bikes tied to an erection. Stab you with HIV Justin, knocked by a neighbour. Someone knocking on the door. Bash your head in Justin, banged. Penis up loud bike, penis up loud bike, penis up loud bike, penis up loud bike. Dog bark, shot dead Justin, yep, dead. Being shot dead Justin said, sick cunt. Penis up loud bike, penis up loud bike, penis up loud bike, penis up loud bike. Molested Stephanie Hill, just revved when I've never had sex with her. Or if her name is Jill, it could be the alternative to Hill. Either way, I've not had sex with that name. Dead knife, Saven said. Your Saven smash you out tomorrow, said. Misery having a break and make your life in fucking hell, said. And that's it at the moment. Right, so I'm actually in the corridor, not in my flat, because I've got to leave the windows open because it's 32 degrees Celsius. So smash your teeth in, Justin said. Next Wednesday, break in, Justin, nothing. Burglar, you are. Dangerous child molester, you are, said. Beads, said. Break both your legs, said. Wet bow whistles, bowl whistles. Bow whistling, molested Kimberly, bashed, barked, sorry. Popping bow whistles, to say nothing left. When we get to the next sheet, blinding with beads, said. Tomorrow, double trouble, burning occurs. At 6:55 PM, stabbing with HIV, banged. Smash your negative person, now smash your face in, banged. HIV Justin. Smash your place of your face apart and place apart. Both those have been said, so one of them. Lost your face, you mongrel, said. Much similar banged. There's been about 50 bangs. Child rapist just over. Smash you in Justin, banged. HIV Justin, banged. Molested girl, said. And a hard bang as I have to go back into my flat before I go back out. Because I forget things. Because the hot sunny weather's fucking my mind up. Right, a few loud bikes to erections. Very fucking scary. Very scary. Get him, said. Get him, I mean. Bonus, some motorbike reps break in. Molested Sadie at 00:40 AM. There's been other things as well, but I lost a sheet for the latest problems. Right, it's 3 in the morning, I've been woken up. Right, it's a very scary fucking get him, said. Bono and loud bike. Bike reps break in, molested Sadie at 40 minutes past midnight. Penis up 10 times loud bike. 46 minutes AM. Breaking in, Justin paedophile, 10:30. Everything missing, said. Busting in, smash your head in, banged. Burning occurs, spastic. Just you are supposed to be knifed by Matty, said. Breaking in, said. Bash you in, Justin breaking in, Justin sick cunt. Rapist having a break-in. Neighbour band smash you in, tried blowing the place up with diesel. Gunshots, 3 AM breaking, banged. Kicking off, gonna fucking blind you and fucking kick all your fucking teeth in, shouted. And then obviously there's a bit of eye problem. Fuck's sake, if I can get a fucking say down straight. Right, I'm gonna skip all the other stuff last night, it wasn't too bad in the end. Let's get to today, shall we? Liberal Democrats want to rip you to fucking pieces and tear your fucking life apart. That's the setup of the day. That's the main setup of the fucking day. So, if I can get anywhere and say what I want to say, I need to get the paper out, but I just want to get what's happening at this minute in time. So, learn with Lisa Carr, yeah, Lisa Pike. They know that she's the ugliest fucking possible fucking person that they could possibly choose for a fucking setup. Get your fucking guts in and out of her, fuck her. But they're insulting me, saying that the only alternative is to be with someone who sexually abused you as a child, or to take the piss out of family members, basically. So there's DX Van, Dad Laurie, Laurie. You had Somerset Waste Partnership, and a female's name, but I can't, Al something or rather. I'll have a look on my camera because I photographed the evidence on that. And then you had a load about 250 sexual cars, black and blue. That included a knife-shaped gun looking. There's been 3 1940s knife-shaped bonnet cars.
yellow car in the midst of all that, and choked by catalytic converter and timing drain covers to be hit over, and also motorbikes and bikes to erections. That's the first time out. Also Phil the Clean, Phil the Clean. Then there was a couple of started cars that have been choked up by a catalytic converter. One mild threat when I went back in from outside by the builders. Sick cunt, his life gone, said. 2 loud bites to erections in the 15-20 minutes I went back. Going back out, loads of black and blue cars, another knife-shaped, a Sawyer's lorry. There's another 3 vehicle names. One of them was a sexual wording, but I can't remember what it was. Then we had Valent and Bleach van. No, Bleach and Valent, or one of the two. Yeah, Bleach and Valent. FMG van. Direct van. FMG van. Dracula cabs. Car Time to Hit Me. Learn with Lisa was after that, but before that you're looking at about 150 cars, 4 cell calls in my direction, and 2 threats and a photograph taken of me. I did have some sort of form of plan for today initially, but obviously it's just go with the flow because it's a blue sky sunny day again for the 27th of June 2024. So my initial plan was to go to Sherborne, but that wasn't to be, so I just went to go uptown instead before I had to come back for something. And then obviously I went back out to go to Farm Foods to buy a couple of things there before coming back. Actually, I haven't mentioned the setups there, have I? Hang on. I've had a quick look at the setups for that specific time out. There's a lot of stuff that could offend family members, so most of it's going to have to be kept off for that specific time going out. So it's just similar to what it is for strength of setups as the other time going out before coming out now, but I'll leave it there. I will say either way, whatever I was going to do today, regardless of all the options that would have been alternative if it wasn't so sunny, I still have to make a space or a time slot because I am expecting a phone call today, so worth mentioning. Right, so I better update you with the weather, hadn't I? They said it's going to be cooler today than it was yesterday. I'd say it's about 2 degrees colder than what it was yesterday. So there's not much difference at all. You can feel it very, very faintly. But it's barely changeable from yesterday. Maybe 3 degrees at a push, but definitely no more than that. Blue skies and sunshine, obviously. No cloud cover whatsoever for the whole morning, and that's basically it at the moment. I didn't catch the writing in time because obviously I was concentrating on photographing the evidence, but there's a person wearing a t-shirt walking on that road, cycling on that road, wearing a t-shirt that says God wants you to show love and true romance. Now, I know I've written it like that and it sounds right. I'm a little bit, I thought what it said, it was reworded but meant the same way. Same thing, but I can't remember. But it definitely meant exactly the same as what I wrote down. So it said, God wants you to show love and true romance. Right, I had a catalytic converter hot point. There was a 1940s bullet shaped looking racing car timed. Could be 50s, could be 60s. Black and blue car, and I can't remember what the band name was. It's not a very good name. It's quite a serious name, but I've forgotten what it said. Someone's wearing a t-shirt saying homosexual. That's 4 t-shirts from the same company. I don't know who's doing these fucking t-shirts, but it's definitely someone that's big. Basically, over 50 is too old, so they're referring to age on a specific t-shirt. That's from the same company as Make Love Not War t-shirt, and age is just a number, it's love that counts. All those t-shirts and the homosexual one seem to me to be from the same company, because they all look, getting bloody flies in my face again, and in my ears and mouth and up my nose, and yeah, so they all look like they're from the same writing, same form of writing, same formula, same design. So usually when they time, they haven't today, but usually when they time a person, what they usually do is time a lookalike to someone who sexually abused me as a child, followed by a Make Love and Not War t-shirt, and then age is just a number, it's love that counts t-shirt. And sometimes in the mints they also time that t-shirt that occurs to say over 50 is too old, basically, when they're referring to age and all that. Well, I'm not far off 50, by the way, so they obviously want to pre-plan that t-shirt, knowing I'm not going to get anyone in the next 5-6 years. Then when I'm 50 they can take the piss out of me and tell me I'm being hanged fucking sexually. With the Liberal Democrats going into power, obviously I can't guarantee they will go in power. There's 4 parties to choose from: Conservatives, Labour, Liberal Democrats, and there's a new one, I've forgotten what the name is. UK Change or something similar to that, but it's not Change, it's something similar to that, I can't remember what it is. Actually, it's UK Reform. Tony Blair mentioned in the Labour Party, if you're voting Labour, that he wanted to, he was told to say this, obviously that's what he's paid to do. He said quite simply, the king is dead. What we must do is we must destroy him. We must destroy it. And the other thing is, when it comes to Conservatives, I haven't seen days like this since Margaret Thatcher was in power. I think it was Conservatives. And then you've got the Liberal Democrats. They want to stop people's benefits and push everybody into work. But there was a piece of information that was shown on television once, which basically were the Liberal Democrats saying what we must do is we must aggressively destroy him and kill him. And also sexuality, and basically something like that as well. But this goes back to 1995, and obviously they lost a lot of popularity with that sort of suggestion being made. With you don't have UK Independent or the Green Party, I don't think, anymore, but you have UK Reform. They want to have a new outlook on life. They want to do similar to what the Liberal Democrats want to do, but they also want to cause a cashless society. But they're trying to do away with debit cards as well. They're thinking of doing away with that when they reform. They're trying to close down shops and businesses for one organisation only per thing, so like one banking system where all the other banks close down, and they want everybody chipped. They want everybody to be on a smartphone. This isn't part of the Labour Party or any of the Conservatives or Liberal Democrats or Reform or whatever. This is just something else that I saw on the internet. They reckon in the next 10 years you won't be able to buy a laptop. Everything will be on a smartphone. So if you're a DJ and want to make music, or you want to save a music CD, or you want to put a USB in, or put stuff to save to a hard drive or stuff, anything like that, you're not going to be able to, because they're not going to have that technology in 10 years time. I mean, they're already doing away with disc players. And there's a lot of kick up about it as well. In actual fact, there's a lot of kick up because the M discs were stopped, and being a reliable source of disc, I mean, it might not be as what they say they are, you know, because when Millennia Arta publish them, they say that there's a 1,000-year lifetime on them. You might not get nothing like that, but what you can guarantee is they're basically a reliable disc. It's better to put it as that rather than say it's going to last for years on end. It would be better just to say that it's a reliable disc that costs a little bit more than your average breakable discs. But it looks like they stopped doing them. But it was interesting because at the time they stopped making, the actual same day they stopped those discs, I was complaining on the internet because I'd not had sex in my whole life. And I saw Amanda Millis, which is Sadie Dando's friend, in I can't remember. I think it was B&M, or it could have been the old Morrisons. I can't remember. At Burnham-on-Sea, buying matches because I wanted matches for something at that time. But anyway, they stopped those M discs, and they did manage to keep her off. Back in the lockdown period, I can't remember what year it was, they decided to relaunch them verbatim, got permission to do those discs, but use a little bit more protection against the coating rather than the inner layer. So you still had the rock-like layer inside the disc, and they were charging a lot more for the discs when they made them. This is another odd one as well. Soon as Grace Waterman, a neighbour at my place, moved in, the same day she moved in, they stopped making those discs as well. Verbatim got in trouble, and they were forced to stop making those discs. As it currently stands, I'm not sure where it is with the discs. It appears to me at the moment, when it comes to discs, no one's too bothered because the interfaces are changing and all the technology's changing, and they're not putting disc drives in laptops or anything like that. So I'm not sure how it works at the moment, but there are still those that prefer to keep their stuff on a disc, especially if it's audio content or family photos or stuff like that, because you can't guarantee stuff that you back up online. Because I've lost some music and I've lost a lot of documentation going back to just over a year ago. So I'm going to come to that now. Right, so initially, yeah, it's the fucking sunny weather, it's causing hay fever. I never used to have hay fever. It's only in the last 3 years I've got it. And I had it really bad in 2023. But I've lost what I was going to say, 2 secs. Right, so basically what happened was I was saving stuff online and paying something like, I can't remember how much I was paying. I made a payment for the year and I lost that payment and they closed down my site. So basically what happened was I was uploading all my music initially, and then obviously I was uploading my Deep Depression life story packs, and my life story packs contain stuff where I've never had anyone in my whole life, been sexually abused, been stopped from getting sex, been nailed as a sick cunt, accused of child rape when I've never had sex with children or never raped children or never even had sex with women of a sexual type or anything like that, or a negative type. Basically no sex in my whole life, and I couldn't fancy a negative type anyway. So it had all that sort of stuff. You know, photographs of problems when I go out, like vertical wording, anything from t-shirt names, rappers, men coming out as a message, to audio recordings of threats, animal voice sounds, basically anything from telling me I've raped Stephanie or Sadie, to going to the fire of hell, to being burnt forever and ever with lies against me which are not true, to you know, anything else really, sort of whatever. Timing vehicles to smash into me, setups to tell me to fuck people that raped me as a child, telling me they're going to rip me to pieces in my next life and rape me as a child in my next life before playing about with me with poker sticks in a fireplace, or to say I'm going to get bitten by a deadly black mamba before I'm old enough to have sex in my next life, or that this is going to continue in every life, or that we sliced your wrist with a creator god and tearing you apart and accusing me of sexual. Well, all that was put on there, and it's known as a Deep Depression life story pack, or my life story, or just in daily negative problems or whatever. It's had several names over the years, and I started it in 2003 with stuff like hard evidence that God doesn't exist, and named it deep depression because people were starting on me back at that time, and that's before my life got 50 times worse. But anyway, all that information documentation has gone on the internet, and because that was on there, they closed down. They didn't refund me, they just basically phoned me up. They did phone me up, yeah. They said that the FBI or the CIA or whatever are not very happy with the content that you got on there, and I'm afraid we're going to have to close your account down. And so I said, you're going to have to refund me then. We said no refunds. And they just did that. So I nearly lost my temper down the phone before she put the phone down. So I did a documentary of it back at that time. But yeah, they weren't happy with the stuff that I put on there. And it's the same today. If I pay to use a site, I've either got to cancel the prescription or whatever, the payments, because of that specific information. They seem to know what you put on there. And if you every time I put stuff that contains my life or anything like I just said, it seems to be taken off. They want to disguise it for some reason. I have lost a lot of that information in the past where hard drives are broke or someone's got into my place when I was living at Bridgewater and West Street, and someone was handling with my computer. I don't know if it's the police. But then again, when the police arrest me, they took all my conspiracy discs, which I got like for 99p each, which I didn't even watch yet, which I had a friend called Lewis on the internet, on Facebook. Fuck's sake. Bit some fucking grit in my eye, and I'm inhaling fucking flies. Actually, breathing in flies, there's over 50 flies I've actually breathed in. Just breathed in the last, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. But anyway, I've lost what I was going to say. Right, a crow, sorry, said is having a break-in. Yeah, so I've had to play the video back to get the information, and the battery went flat as I was recording, and I lost the video that I just redone, which is 7 minutes long. So I'm pissed off about that. Well, I knew this Lewis, I won't give the surname for reasons. Obviously, he told me about the Illuminati conspiracies and all these conspiracy videos, and this is before 2012, by the way. So I bought them for 99p off of eBay. And it's all about, you know, the New World Order, Illuminati. I never really watched them. But when the police raided me and took my computer, they said that they basically got nasty with me and said, we want you down for child abuse and making child allegations of sexuality, pornography and all the rest of it. Because I posted a DVD of basically Deep Depression My Life Story packs, which I've already mentioned. But they misinterpreted that information when I posted that disc. And when they raided my computer, they deleted off all my life story problems. But there was a specific time period that was mentioned on there where I was accused of raping Stephanie. Well, the time period that occurred, the police had deleted that information of those months that were on there containing that time period. So I don't have a leg to stand on if anyone's to start trouble regarding that specific time period. Obviously I've never raped her, but you can't do nothing if you haven't got the data or information there. However, most of the information is safe. But there is other times. There's quite a bit of information that through time which has been lost or been taken because I've gone through curses of losing it because hard drives have been breaking or whatever else. And back in the time when 2009 to 12 hang on. Yeah, it's this fucking hay fever. It's because it's hot and sunny every day. It's affecting the plant life and causing the pollen to be very high. There's never a cloudy day anymore. It's just 2 secs. Yeah, so if I can get my fucking say, I had about 50 conspiracy discs. When the police raided my flat, they took all those discs and they took all my USB sticks that had all my live recordings on it, which was Dance Transmission Control 2nd of the 4th 1994. But what pissed me off about that is the copy of that I had was special ones that a person was selling on the internet which was taken from original DAT tapes. So it wasn't actually recorded from a cassette tape or done in a stupid way where the sound quality was crap. This was actually, and it wasn't Fantasia's own website where they were taken from tapes in poor quality or anything like that. This was actually taken from the proper DATs. Someone initially got hold of the DATs illegally, or got a copy of the recorded DATs of Dance Transmission Control 2nd of the 4th 1994, and these recordings were crystal clear that were sold as onto CDs. When I saved it on USB sticks. I didn't think about putting it to compact disc. I was just thinking about putting it to USB sticks. When they took the USB sticks, I never actually got those USB sticks back. The police took all my conspiracy discs. They never gave me one of those conspiracies off, and they deleted off the whole lot of my life story pack, but I did have it backed up in other places, like on other USB sticks. When I got the data back from the police station, it appears to me they didn't go through the USB sticks as such, or if they did, they didn't bother deleting it off. They just mainly wanted to delete off what was on the computer. I mean, I had loads of USB sticks that they went through. We're looking at going for a couple of months where I had to borrow my dad's computer until I got my computer back in that time period. I can't remember the year. I think it's 2009, could be 10 or 11. It might have been just before that as well, I don't know. And it looks quite a long time ago, but it can't be too far back, because obviously I heard about the Illuminati and conspiracy stuff. I did get the Orange MTech USB sticks before the police raided me, which is the ones I saved my vinyl on. So it might have been... I can't remember if it was actually before or after that. It was some time ago, but those Orange MTech sticks I basically had a lot of problems with. I saved all my records on there before I got rid of all my records to Lou, which is that Facebook friend. And eventually, when I transferred them, I thought some tracks were safe. When I played them properly, I realised that they were crooked on basically every track. So all the records I bought in the past, I thought to myself, I just wasted my money. And Lewis did some recordings for me because he did some mixes, but they're all gone now. The hard drives and the frequencies or signals in the air messed up all my discs. I don't know. God, this is hay fever's pissing me off now, but there's nothing you can do about it. The bastards want to make it blue skies and sexual weather every day, don't they? Just get the tissue out a minute. Anyway, there's been a lot of problems in recent times, I can tell you that. Because I've lost quite a lot of that stuff. I can't use it online, can't store it online, obviously it's on hard drives and whatever. My life's gone downhill, it's really gone downhill. I've lost all my old school jungle tracks, literally the whole lot. Even the Music Electronica series that I even gave family. The problem is, the family members that I gave it to, they can't find the disc. And I bet most of them are just sort of mislaid or chucked out because it's not really their sort of music. It's just I wanted to do something as a one-off for Christmas for everybody. Which I'm not too bothered about because, you know, fucking flies. You know, this is very fucking difficult to do this now. You can't do a talk, you can't have a fucking say anymore. Anyway, I had a break-in where my stuff is stored in the garage. That contained basically everything. The leftovers of everything that wasn't damaged. Records, CDs, cryo chamber, dark ambient CDs that I collected in the camping period before I moved to Yeovil. Then I continued buying these CDs up until 2022, maybe 2023. Then the spare pack of, I left 6 boxes in the shed before I moved to Yeovil with my stuff, and that got broken into the night I camped. I don't believe it's the neighbours though, because the you can tell if it's there would be a different change, or there'd be a change in the behaviour of the neighbours, and it was just like a normal flow. So it's definitely not caused by the neighbours at my old place. That included like a half a bag of clothes as well. So I had to go to the social worker, went to my nan's to pick up the stuff as an alternative until I bought the stuff back. And the stuff that I bought back, I went into like that storage place, a garage, which got broken into. I lost all my music. I lost all the cryo chamber CDs. And I thought to myself, well, that's the only music I got. And I lost all the blank M discs. But we go back just to, what year is it? The beginning of 2022. I wasted, in today's money, £1,400 in M discs. due to hard banging by the neighbours underneath me. He's been evicted now, but there was a lot of banging coming from that flat, and it cost me 1,400 in discs, and I lost, basically I did 50 discs, just under 50 discs. There were only 7 minutes recording time. I couldn't do a full disc, that you could never do a disc that long because you just had to risk it, and then obviously I went down to my dad's to try and do some more at that time, which I did, but I didn't know until later on that the disc player was playing up, and those discs that I recorded had to be chucked out. So I ended up wasting £1,400 in disc, which in today's money, because they've gone up because of rarity and because they stopped making them, is £3,000. So I've had to look for a couple of packs to buy back, but not as many. You just have to think of doing 1 or 2 discs and leaving it at that, and making sure that they're good copies and store them safe at a place when you move or whatever. That's all you can do now, because the discs are so rare and they don't do them anymore. It has pissed me off, really pissed me off. Because the place I had my stuff stored, I was paying for that. I didn't get refunded for that either. Anyway, over the last, I've decided to raid my bank account completely empty to get those discs back. Those, not the M discs, because I can't get them at the moment. But I need to get those because I need to put them to record them, because I want my music safely on a disc. But to get those specific cryo chamber discs back, I paid roughly £800 for the 32 discs, anything from Atrium Carceri to Agasonus, Proto U and Hilliard, Dahlia's Tear to Metatron Amiga and Agasonus or whatever. So there was 32 discs in total. No, obviously £800 a lot to pay, but this was over a process of time. When I was camping, I wanted music, and then at that time I was paying for a more expensive storage place. Obviously it's a smaller unit and it's a bit more secure, but the price of those types of places is too high now to rent these sorts of places. So that's why I went and rented a garage instead, because it's a lot cheaper. But I made the biggest mistake ever because I've had the break-in, I've lost my stuff. Anyway, I've had to pay a lot of money to get those discs back, and I haven't got most of them back. I've only got about just over 20 of those discs back, because the others I can't get hold of because they're not available. I'm not going to give the exact amount how much I had to pay, but it's definitely a lot more than I initially paid per disc. You're looking at 3 times the amount on some discs that I had to rebuy back, and it's left me with no money. And I'm hoping that I can keep those a bit safer than all the break-ins and the losses of the past. If I lose these ones, I should probably just call it a day and sort of end my life, because obviously there's nothing else worth living for if everything goes, is there? Literally, when you've had your life taken already, with your life and being insulted. At the moment it's just to tell me that you're being knife dead, being stabbed to death, and that you're being sexually abused as a child when you're reborn in your next life. And that's basically what the setups are at the moment. It doesn't get any better than that. They're just nasty, vicious, fucking tear-apart bastards, these people in the elite, the government. Millions of millionaires people, they don't give a fuck. I can't get a partner, or anyone I've known in my life, they're single mothers. You've got the police against me, taking the piss now. Going back to square one stages. They've even, at my place, at Thorn House, they've accused me of raping someone, a girl or a woman. And they needed to find out from the staff at my place where I was on that specific day, because they thought I did it. And then the staff had to back me up. Luckily, it was in the time period when the CCTV wasn't down, because it's been down more than it has been on. But luckily, on that occasion when this incident occurred, the CCTV was still operating. However, it wasn't long after that it went down again. A day or two after that. But, they did try and make that accusation. And then obviously, at the time it occurred, I was actually in support session with the staff at 6:30 in the evening at supported housing, believe it or not, at the time the actual incident took place. And then obviously in the past, where there's no CCTV or nothing to back me up, they've had more sort of been digging at me with stuff that's not true, and I've just had to put up with it and just had to say it's not true or whatever. There's many fucking problems I've had in my life. They've even put clairvoyant readings through and telling me they want to insult me all the time. There's certain setups that are doing at this minute in time that they got in trouble with, including the loud bike issue. And, you know, bringing family members' names in setups, or being done in a way where it's far-fetched. They've been in trouble for that. The government have been in trouble, or they don't know who's doing it, but this is in 2015, 2016 area. They've all died out. It's all starting again. They know they can get away with it this time, so they're going to keep on doing it. They know they can reset it up. They know I've moved to a different area of Somerset, and they think that all the old people are not going to have any contact with me, so they think they can get away with doing it. So they think they can go as far-fetched as they can possibly go. And they know that my life's been sort of taken with all the break-ins that I've had and lost of all my stuff and all the rest of it. And I think it's a good time just to rip me to fucking pieces and hope that I'm fucking dead. And then they also take the piss saying that your name's Justin Time, you're living up to your name, Justin. I'm ripping you to pieces and all the rest of it. But anyway, I'll leave it there. I was mostly to speak about the, you know, putting stuff online. It's not just online that's a loss, but wherever you put it, it's like God or the Creator doesn't want you to have anything full stop, music or nothing. God wants to rip it all out of you. But the problem is, He wants to rip away your fucking evidence, your stronghold, your concrete evidence, because the stuff I had is concrete evidence. In actual fact, if we go back to a specific year, I can't remember what year it was actually. It was after 2010, and it's before 2017. The police wanted to make an arrest, and I had to show them some footage that I took on a specific day and where I was on a specific day, which incidentally is now lost as well due to the computer breaking and the hard drive messing up to a point where I had to chuck the computer out. But there was something that I filmed on a specific day which included the newspaper of me walking into a shop to film the newspaper because I was moaning about a specific setup, and they tried accusing me of rape on a specific day. And that evidence that I filmed, with my face being shown because I showed my face in the film, is the only thing that I had to support, back me up what I was doing on that day and where I was on that day. And then obviously the police couldn't arrest me, and they had to look elsewhere. So, you know, even that's lost, that bit of evidence of that. Right, a family have walked up to go to Jack the Treacle where I am, and they're just sort of speaking this on my CD, because on my CD I hold two CDs. One says The Alliance First Impressions Reinforced Records, which is one of my favourite jungle tracks, but I got an old CD that still says EU Single, which I accidentally picked up today, and it wasn't threats or anything nasty, but this family that walked past, they have 5 children and a couple of adults and a very old person, and when they passed me they said there's someone for everybody, that kind of everyone can fancy or something like that. It's very heavy and heavily packed for planes and helicopters and all that shit. But I just wanted to say that this family, British, I don't know where they're from, calm accent, similar to my accent, which is quite rare to be fair, basically said they use the term there's a child for everyone, but they're not referring to a child, obviously, it's a figure of speech. It basically is to refer to a sexy woman for everyone, that's what it means, but they're using an old term when they said that. So that's what they said when they saw the CD thing that I was holding out, so just wanted to mention it. And there's another one. Right, so I'm going to mention the last 10 minutes. Right, so basically I made a little bit of a fire just to burn some rubbish because there's no rubbish bags and I didn't want to litter it as such. Better it goes in the ground, you know, as sulphur. Go on, push the fucking traffic. They are putting it heavy again, but it's not terribly heavy, but it is heavy. So, yeah, initially I lit a fire to do that. Then there was a load of planes and helicopters around me. Very loud, in fact, just circling me. It wasn't just helicopters, it was planes as well. But in the time period that I was filming or doing the documentary, it's going to make no matter difference what one it is, because they're both very similar, both same suggestion. Then you had the motorbikes come past. Obviously that's quite rare. It might have happened once before, I'm not sure, but it's not something that happens very often. There's 2 more motorbikes after I did the recording. I was about to film it to see if I could get better evidence, just for like a video to put on YouTube. Although the likelihood is I would have just kept it as a audio file, because it's not nothing, out of the ordinary to put on there. But there was an Amy Weston look-alike on the other 2 bikes I passed, so it's females. But not how Amy Weston would look today, how she would have looked about 15 years ago. When Amy Weston reached the age of about 34, she went into negative attraction. But it's so quickly how she went into negative attraction. So before the age of 33, it was very rare you'd see people that sexy, that her age. She had that soft skin, still the same sort of skin she almost had when she was a teenager, even at 33. But as soon as she hit 34, that was a change. It was in the time period just as I was moving to the Oval from Burnham-on-Sea. Anyway, this Amy today, I have seen her latest picture on Facebook, but I've not actually had communication with her. The amount she's changed is almost as she looks like a different person from, going from like she's aged in 10 years in just a couple of years basically. And it's not so, her face looks less, I wouldn't say it's hard to describe, it's more sort of like it's all swollen inwards, if that's the right word, but with that old effect and sour looking rather than the smoothness of it being more flexible and outwards. However, I don't want to insult people or anything like that, but that's the best description I can give really. So she's never really liked me, so I knew her when I was 9 years old or whatever, 8 years old, but she turned against me and tried to get to know her back in 2001 area. And I was mostly speaking to her young brother, who was only about 11 at that time, called Callum Evans. But things didn't really sort of materialise, and over the years I just didn't really have much go in me to speak or do anything. I just sort of gave up on the issue. You've got this person called Alex Lunnis as well. Although I've heard that he's had a bad life and had things happen, when you consider that he knew Amy Weston and Shara Weston and all that, sexuality, he's had a really, really good life. And I was listening to one of his Radical North Technology mixes, just sections of it, and you can tell that with the music and the information content in some of that stuff, it actually tells you that he's had a good life, not a bad life. It's about 2003, might have had it a bit bad before then, but I don't know, because Amy's always been a sexual type person. There's a possibility that he could have gone with her before that time, Not my business, but what I will say is people that are connected to Amy have definitely not had bad lives. Or Shara. But Shara's also a very sexual type woman that people have gone with. But like I say, to be honest, I wish I never knew her. Then there wouldn't be the issues that we have today. But obviously, because she knew me at a younger stage in life, it's got to be accepted, unfortunately. But to be fair, you might as well just say you don't know her. That'd be the best way to solve the issue. In America, you have this lady called Gabby Borges, who's an actress, singer and everything. Now obviously I said Amy Weston's always been a bit more sort of sexual looking than that, more sexual looking, if right word to use or whatever. I'd say she still looked like Gabby Borges, or similar to how Gabby Borges looks today at the age of 33. So probably identical sort of attraction and look at 33, basically. But you know, Amy was always been one of those types that's always had that very young, pretty look that turns the men on. She's had 5,000 friends in her friends list on Facebook before now. But like I say, I don't want to go into the subject of Amy because it just depresses me and just bores me and it's no good. It's not going to help, and there's nothing that can be done, and with sexually or anything like that, whatever, when it comes to Amy or whatever. It's just pointless knowing her, or knowing her when she was a child. It would have been better if she just took a different direction when I went out on a specific day, and I wouldn't have known her anyway. So it's as good as that, basically. And the same for Callum, and well, even Alex. You know, I don't really need to know Alex Lannis either. That's all sort of tied in with them, I guess. The only one I really sort of know, ended up with a punch in the eye first. But there's one person I got on with alright. He's got quite good interest, actually, to be fair. But I've not spoken to him either for years. But he's not really connected. He knows her, but he's not connected as deep as anyone else or most people to that Amy Weston. But anyway, I'll leave it there. Come to think of it, you know this Lisa Pike I mentioned, I'm not actually supposed to know her either. And or Harley or anybody that I knew at Avalon School. Shall I tell you why? Because if it wasn't for enemies pushing me out of Elmwood School and Blake's school next to Elmwood School having communication through the fence back in 1993, when things started to kick off in that year, I wouldn't have known, or wouldn't have had to change school because of this issue. But because Elmwood's a piece of shit school and people were giving it some, that's the only reason I know Lisa Pike and why I changed schools back in that time period of 1994. So going back about 15 years or whenever it was, I can't remember how long ago it is now, there's Catherine, who I also knew at Avalon School, and she was still a sexual woman at the time. I sort of tried to make communication. She didn't remember me, and her boyfriend gave me a lot of shit, but getting quite nasty, saying, "Oh fucking, you don't get the fuck off here." And she said, "Don't know me." And then I sort of had a go at the boyfriend, saying, "If she doesn't know me, then how do I know Lisa Pike?" And she remembers Lisa Pike. And he said, and then he made a deal with me. He said, where he basically calmed down. He basically said, "Well, you can't go with Catherine because I'm with Catherine, but I will give you some credit. That Lisa Pike, I will admit, what you've been putting on Facebook about her, I absolutely agree. She's not a fucking very pretty woman." And just started saying, "So I agree, and you deserve better than that." He said, "Yes, I believe that." He says, "I agree with that." But, you know, he did calm down. He says, "Well, the problem is, I'm with her, and I don't really want you having communication with her. If we can just leave it there, I'll leave it at that," basically. And that's what he did. And that's what I did. They did block me, obviously. I didn't go looking for them again on Facebook or whatever, but at least he had the sympathy to tell me that, you know, he agrees that you deserve something better than that. Because he saw the posts on my Facebook at that time and how negative my life was and not having anyone and all the rest of it. And he agreed. Didn't start off that way, because obviously he used a bit of like threatening behaviour. But it's only because Catherine remembered Lisa that she knew that what I was putting on Facebook and all the rest of it was true. But, you know, when I said I couldn't fancy Lisa and all the rest of it, and then obviously, you know, that's what happened. You know what I just said. Right, like I said, there's a lot of blue skies and there's a lot of cloud around. You've just had the first 3 seconds of cloud cover. Obviously hazy cloud cover, not full cloud cover, for the first time today. Right, now we've got a train, so that reminds me, there's a lady that I used to know at Yeovil College that was using the train in 2022. It was in the I think it was August, I can't remember. It was sort of August time period, is when I was sort of camping towards Portland and Weymouth. Well, not sure what her name is, and I think she has a younger sister called Gemma, who's slightly smaller than her, a more negative attraction. She's actually got grey hair, even though she's younger. I think she's slightly younger than me. She's just one of those that was born to look old and wrinkly, where her older sister is like a couple of years older, still has very soft, smooth skin, a sexual face, and darkish hair, believe it or not. Going back to the days when I was at college, everyone was saying she's the ugliest person there, including me, because I didn't actually think she was that great looking. But when you compare people's faces today, and you think of how negative people are today, in the age group that I am, she's probably the sexiest you'll fucking find. So, initially, I couldn't really speak to her. She went to use a loo, and when I was looking at her, I was being started on, because people were thinking that she was younger than me by 20 years, when she isn't. And it got nasty. Then the people she was with thought I was Saven, so I decided to keep myself to myself. I didn't want to lose communication. I thought maybe in a future time, if this hasn't messed it up, I could speak to her again. So I saw her a couple of times, and it appears that she's, in the last several times that I've seen her, she's got a boyfriend and she's been made pregnant, and she is now a single mother, so there's nothing I can do about it. And the boyfriend's made threats at me when he's passed. I mean, there's a longer story than this to what I'm saying, but I'm just giving it to you in brief. And basically it's too late. Yeah, so this lady, she basically has a facial look for a poodle dog. It's one of those that some fancy or some wouldn't stand the look of, but she does have smooth skin, and she still has smooth skin, and she's my age, maybe a bit older. I don't think she's younger. I mean, there's a small possibility that she could be slightly younger and just looked older back in the time when I saw her. But either way, it's not going to be more than 2 years in either direction, whatever direction it is, and the likelihood is on the older direction. But even so, like I said, that's been put through by people, thanks to this Saven business and me being mistaken as that person. One of the Tims has messaged me basically asking why haven't I come to the coffee morning this morning, and I haven't forgotten his text that he sent the other day. I sort of messaged saying, well, I've never had anyone in my whole life, I've been praying since I was 14 and God's not helped me at all. I've had nothing, and just keeps on offering me the negative types, or the ugly, extremely ugly types that I can't even stand the look of, in a way to handicap you from having sex, or to stop you getting sex all your life. So obviously I didn't make it as punishing or sounding as that. And he says something like, I can't remember what he said now, but he says, and you're not going to get anybody. And basically saying, God, there's a reason for it. And then he said, I'll text you later. He never texted me back, he never replied. And he just said, why don't you come to the coffee morning? Well, in the last couple of days, since I sent that message, all they've been doing is pissing about a setup, saying that the Liberal Democrats are coming into power and to rip you to pieces, and basically making the suggestions of my father in a piss-take, far-fetched way, with suggestions I do not consider to be appropriate to put on this video. So, you know, if you're praying to God, God's not exactly very helpful, is he? If you want to look at it on that principle. Obviously I haven't felt perfect, and I've felt down, but I have noticed something. Where I don't take religion as seriously, especially in the last, several days, although things are still not great and I'm still feeling down in the dumps and like I'm on the floor, there's a lift up. There's like this sudden change since I stopped going to these religious places, where you feel like something's lifting you up slightly. That intense negative power, or spiritual power that's being beamed down on you, that's suppressing you to the floor, trying to bring you down, has been relieved. There's a feeling like that. I've noticed that. So maybe the Bible's against me, maybe the Bible is the devil, I don't know. But it's definitely an ease, especially when I stopped texting these Christian people and having communication with them. That negativity has become less overpowering through spirit phenomena or force or negativity that's controlling me, basically. I don't know who Jesus is. I've never known who Jesus is. If I didn't know what the Bible was, I would have never known Jesus, whoever Jesus was. I think it's just something that's done in the black arts religion, or some, I don't know how to word it, but just a book that's been dubbed on the nation. Maybe it's a sort of is a booby trap, or of a specific evil god, that they're trying to convince everybody and trying to push everybody into that religion, maybe. I ain't got a clue. Either way, I feel better since I've stuck away from the thing. And all these people are Christians. I've noticed they got that suggestion, that symbolical suggestion, like they look like hellfire beings, you know, their haircut style and the hair fire like a hellfire. They give that sort of impression in the face of hell. I don't know, it's just interesting. Worth mentioning. The other thing that pisses me off when it comes to religion is they always like pray to the government, they pray to, you know, the Queen, and they always say that everybody who's religious, who's Christians, have a good life. Well, that seems to be true, actually. But the thing is, what you're getting people off the streets, these people that are poor, and they're being brainwashed into these religions. But the thing is, what they usually do, the first thing that they usually say, they've done it with me in the past, they say, just need to look at life in general and how God's treating you and look at all the pretty things in life. But they never mention anything like snakes killing cobras, crocodiles eating people, snakes killing tigers, black mambas and taipans, you know, and black widows and Australian redbacks, or you name it. They don't go on about that sort of stuff in the creation. They just go on about the beautiful flowers or trees or whatever else. And the other thing, and this one does annoy me, is they say, think to yourself about your partner and how the love for your partner is, and how God is, and what God is, and and that's where God shows his feelings of love through you to humans and gives humans flesh. At the time I was told that, they had no idea that I've never been in a sexual relationship or never had anyone in my whole life, so you know, and they just go on like that. So there's many Bible verses, there's a whole collection of them, put them on the internet. The Bible's against me, I tell you, it's against people that have had a bad life, I noticed. So maybe it is a manipulation tool. Either way, the battery went flat. Either way, when it comes to religion, I don't take it seriously anyway. I'm more into sort of believing. If it wasn't for me being, because as a kid I was sort of thinking to myself, believing in sort of Jesus but never really taken to the Bible. With doing that, it stopped me getting anyone in my whole life, living to the Bible's ways, to some extent. It was only until later on, in fact only in the last couple of years, where I realised that basically I've not had anyone because the Creator God, where it's hard to describe. Basically, if you think to yourself that there's a God, there's Jesus, maybe he would help. But, and all that sort of shit, sort of, not, without being religious, just sort of the tempt is there, all that suggestion is behind in the back of your head. And then you realise later on that you've been manipulated and stopped from getting anyone in your whole life and all the rest of it. And then it ends up in after praying for so many years, a couple of years or whatever, 2022 is like the worst this year on threats on record. For direct threats, anything from shooting you dead, knifing you down, breaking your legs, pouring petrol over you, setting you alight, breaking in, smashing all your windows, jumping on your car, setting you alight, throwing you in a slurry pit, tying a rope on the back of my tow bar to your fucking throat and dragging you along the road, to anything from smashing all your fucking teeth out, breaking your legs, injecting with HIV needle, you name it, it's all that sort of stuff. Anything from 40 to 140 threats per day, almost every day of that specific year. And some days it's 200. And quite simply, the same amount of people per day were photographing me. And basically for sneezing or coughing in my face on that year, it was much the same on that as well. Right, it's a cheap bumhole, so I need to time my loud bike, but that sounded a couple of minutes ago. I had to redo the video because there's too much commotion about. It might sound pathetic what I'm saying, but you've got to take into account any fucking cloud cover at all is a bonus with the way they map out that sky today. Well, you've had about 6 seconds of more cloud or hazy sunshine where that sun's gone in for just a few seconds to the that's on top of the 3 seconds, so just under 10 seconds. I mean, it's better than nothing. I mean, it's not good, is it? But it's better than nothing at all. Animal says fuck yeah, and I say and something else, but I can't say what it says. Right, 2 old people have walked past me, and they've complimented these setups. So basically the old lady says he's stupid, isn't he? And then the chap said, no, he's not. He said, I can work out what's going on. He's saying it's being caused. He says it's probably being done by the Empire. That car was trying to break my legs off, but there's nothing I can do about it. Right, so there's been an Olivia van. Duffields and both Liberal Democrats sticker in a car, back of the car window. A car window, sorry. A girl screams in the school playing field, coming at us to say, "You're having a break-in just." Right, I'm not sure what the weather forecast was predicted for today properly, because I'm just going by it's a blue sky sunny day. But what I do know is the temperatures are supposed to be quite a few degrees down from yesterday. Well, I don't think that's strictly true. Initially when I came out earlier to do this walk, it did feel like it was about 3 degrees cooler, but take away, we didn't have that wind chill yesterday. If you were to take away that wind chill, and with the sun being intense as it is at the moment, I say it's just as hot as it was yesterday with hardly any change at all. Not even a degree. There's been another 3 seconds to 4 seconds of cloud cover, but in the time period it occurred I was actually in the shade, so I didn't benefit from it on that occasion. Right, I've been put on the fucking bench, fucking laid out basically, the temperatures are too fucking hot. I mean, I was soaking wet and sweat yesterday, but today's, take away that breeze, it's just as hot as what it was yesterday. It was a little bit cooler initially. The temperature in my flat went down to 29 or something like that initially overnight, because I got up 3 o'clock in the morning, went outside speaking to one of the neighbours. I came in because I couldn't sleep because it's so hot. It did cool down, but then the sun was out in the morning and the temperature soon rose again. Right, let's talk about voting, the election and all that stuff, shall we? So you've got Labour, Conservatives, Lib Dems, also known as Liberal Democrats, and you've got UK Reform, which is a new party, which I never knew existed until yesterday, in fact. Well, I'm going to be voting that because the name gives it away. They want to make change, but they want to make change which I could pretty much, could be quite negative. Anything from like a cashless society to everyone getting chipped, to changing new laws and just living up to their name of what they called the party, basically, to make a change in life. But it wouldn't be for the better, it'd be for modernisation, which not everybody takes to. A bit like taking away CDs and disk drives from laptops and PCs. You can't even buy a PC with a disk drive in it anymore. But it gets even better, because the latest 2023 and 2024 models, they don't even sell laptops with a USB port. So that means you can't put a hard drive or a USB stick to save data onto it. Anyway, that's not connected to the reform as such, but it's certainly worth mentioning. Labour, I remember when they were in power last, they were causing setups to reply, "We're going to rip you to pieces," and all the rest of it. But there's more of an insult of like the Fathers for Justice events and whatever back at that time, or you know, that sort of thing. So this was sort of all a build-up. So obviously the Lib Dems, they want to stop everyone's benefits. They want to force people to work until they're 70. They also want to do other things. It's all bad. This is all mentioned in the past. And the Conservatives, obviously they're probably the best out of the lot. However, when it comes to my father, because he drives, he's not over happy with some of the new driving restrictions and laws and fines that they put in place. But all in all, I noticed they do that just before the election. Basically, they try and get in as much as they can to hit on hard with new things. But all in all, if I had to vote, I think I'd have to vote Conservatives. For the simple fact that they're probably the nearest organisation that will remain stable until later in the future. The worstest organisation I believe that could go into power is a toss-up between the Liberal Democrats and the Reform UK. Now it's a very tough one, this one. Although Reform is more of a government organisation that wants to change things on the practical side of view, like maybe causing a cashless society or, you know, things like that, where Liberal Democrats want to do away with benefits or stuff like that. So it's a very difficult one to choose which one is the worst. But I still stick to the Liberal Democrats as being the worst. Even though we have this new Reform. I mean, I don't know much about the Reform, but if I was to say the worst organisation or the worst party to get in power at the election, I'll probably say the Liberal Democrats. I don't know if Labour or Conservative have anything to do with the music industry, but I have noticed something. In the time period Labour were in power, all my music came to a stop. But as soon as Conservatives went into power, bang goes some of the old school represses on vinyl. Now it's probably coincidence, it's probably not because of that, but I did notice that. It is interesting that has occurred. But I think that's more along the lines of coincidence rather than because of a music regulation law. Right, so I've been choked up by catalytic converter setup at a catalytic converter hot point. And it turned to look like some which actually moves me to try to turn to a bone. Also a catalytic converter hot point. I've said this many times before, while passing this specific patch, it's usually when I walk back rather than walking up. Every time I pass it, I take into account there's only about 2 houses up there. Every single time I pass this track, nearly every single time I pass this year, they timed vehicles to be on that stretch of road. Well, that stretch of road goes to a dead end apart from those 2 houses. So how's that being done every time? And it's not the same time that I've been passing that house. There's been different times on different days, and they still manage it. And it was a grey and white that was timed. Since I'm on my usual track, I usually sort of mention the weather about now before I go back. Well, you had the initial 3 seconds and the cloud cover that occurred for a few seconds later on. You did have a bit more cloud cover. I say the average amount of cloud cover that's occurred in my direction today is roughly just under 1 minute. Well, it looks like unbelievable, really. Basically, Tim is a person that I see or used to see at the church before I abandoned the faith of Christianity, loud bite to an erection and itchy bumhole. Yeah, until I abandoned the faith of Christianity, I used to go to church and I saw Tim on a regular basis, where he's timed to come home driving over a very extremely loud drain cover, basically, as he turns to go to where he lives. I don't exactly know where he lives down there, but he lives down that specific section. Where's that occurred? A crow went ha ha ha, no one left, straight after the drain covers hit over. Right, someone's just passed me saying, well, why don't you call a prostitute if you haven't had no one before? I can't get it through to people. They don't fucking understand. You don't have prostitutes today, and prostitutes don't get sex. But you know, these people that are saying that you should be doing this, they're thinking about what people were doing 20 years ago. We're in a different time. We're in a smartphone network time. We're in a time of the stupid community. I'm not going to get sex. You can't tell people this, obviously. But they don't see that. They see things realistically. These people even think that You know, the older people like that are above the age of 40 or 50, they think that I could still get someone 18 years of age, at the age I am today. They don't realise that people have changed. But you can't tell them that. But basically that's what they said. They said you need to get a prostitute. Because what's happened is I bought this CD out and I sometimes keep on putting the wrong CD in its place. Basically says, is anyone single? It's an old CD I picked up. It's what I used to carry about, but because people give me trouble I still carry it about. And I just take the Alliance First Impression CD. Which is just handwritten pen, permanent marker writing on a piece of paper that I taped inside the CD case cover with a CD so that I can lean on it when I'm writing my stuff down in the streets. It looks like they're fucking kicking off with the setups on the road, so it looks like it's going to be a really fucking hectic, nasty fucking walk back. You're looking at a persistent flow of about 300 cars in fact. That means when I get on that bridge it's going to be hectic. 2 bikes, my way to it, you don't know what I'm talking about. Basically a car exhaust. Attaching to the converter, I presume. Right, photo taken of me and to be shot dead tomorrow said, my hands are full, I can't do fuck all. Right, boner and end bites to erections. Right, so I made it back home, and now I've got the worst news ever, because my mum's got throat cancer and bowel cancer, and I'm not in a very happy mood about it.